Hey, Chris Liepe here, continuing with the Michael Jackson Studio Multitracks series here on the channel. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out the playlist where, as of right now, I've got close to 30 songs broken down like this. I'm particularly excited for Speed Demon. I know that it was considered kind of a filler by some on the Bad album, but Michael Jackson's mix and head voice, particularly in that middle section of the song, it's unlike anything I've heard on other Michael Jackson songs. And I remember hearing this for the first time going, wow, that guy's got a high voice. And honestly, I think that this song was one of my first exposures to what I would later dive way deep into when it came to mix and exploring my head voice further. And the way, of course, that they layered and produced the vocals is amazing as well. By the way, if you'd like to study your voice with me in a way that is creative, unthreatening, non-judgmental, and helps you unlock stuff like this, click the link below in the video description and join my free course. That's the best place to start, and we can work together a lot more from there. As has become tradition, let's appreciate some of the instrumental goodnesses before we dive into the vocals. Love the percussion nuances here. A little bit more than percussion, but... I love that tubular sound on the kick. That's an interesting mix with the claps in there too. That having the pipe kick. Those are some of the subtle nuances that you may feel or sense, but don't really pick up on when you're listening to the full mix. I love stuff like that. That's one of the reasons I've enjoyed these multi-track Michael Jackson breakdowns so much. Bass. That same section with some guitar. Coming over here into the same combination. And a little more just because I can't really get enough of that groove. There's really nothing quite like an MJ song bass line. The simplicity, catchiness, grooviness, and the way they fit in with the other melodies, the other parts of the arrangement, like these guitars. Some keys and strings. It's neat to be able to pan different things in different places to get perspective on how they fit together, but also you can separate them in the stereo field in different ways so you can hear how they complement and also how they're distinct. You get a sense really for how the layers were built and conceptualized by being able to pan and mess with them like that. Right, like how the keys, that percussive nature of the keys, start the line, the string line that then ends up waterfalling and then has you expecting, even before you know it's a loop, another ba ba da da ba ba. They're the same part, even though they're different parts. They work so well together. That's part of the instrumental arranging that is present on so many Michael Jackson songs that sets the stage for the vocals in a unique way, but also makes you want to keep listening to the track, especially in the full mix, because you hear these, it's almost like you hear promises being made and you wait to see if they're fulfilled. Like the way that these songs are arranged, this song in particular is arranged, you have that sense that there's things being laid out and then there's a fulfillment of that. And then some of the things aren't fulfilled till later. Tension, release, promise, fulfillment of that promise. Okay, let's get into the vocals. Like I said, this is one of my favorite tracks for Michael Jackson's high mix. The footsteps.
I'm headed for the border.
Got to listen to that beginning. All you hear in the main mix, because you're hearing all these other instruments, you don't hear the beatboxing elements or the body percussion going on. This is far more beatboxy than I ever thought. Far more percussive than I thought. I'm just hearing the parts. Whatever.
I'm headed for the border.
I want to do something real quick. I want to accentuate those in-betweens even more. What I've done is I've increased the gain on this section, and I have a master bus limiter. And so what it's doing is it's bringing up these in-betweens while slightly bringing up the apparent volume of these peaks. But we can hear the detail in here much more now. Let's enjoy. Got that little gargle, or a gulp, which happens to also be in rhythm. And then the syncopation here is just mint. So cool. All right, let's go on to some of these other vocals.
I'm headed for the border. It's on my mind, and nothing really matters. I got to be on time. Look in the view mirror. Is it hot on my tracks? Is it getting nearer? I feel some heat is on my back. Just speeding on the freeway, gotta get leeway. Doing it on the highway, gotta have it my way. Mind is like a compass, I'ma stop in nothing. Just pull over, boy, and get your ticket right.
Right. How he accentuates that T on beat and delays it a little bit. Amazing. Love the foot stomping throughout. Continues that even as he's singing. I've always listened to this section though and heard Michael's voice at the beginning as like, is it supposed to be la da da da? And he's just off pitch. Like it didn't seem as locked as I would have liked it to be. But listening in isolation here like this, it's a lot more speech-oriented.
I'm headed for the border. It's on my mind.
The pitch is there. It's actually fine. It's just, I think, buried a little bit in the arrangement, or at least how I was hearing it. But it's also not da-da-da-da-da-da. He's not really zeroing in on the pitch. He's allowing himself to arc pitch-wise.
And nothing really matters. I got to be on time. Look in the view mirror.
The pitch is remarkably good, but it's not the focus. The rhythm and the speech level engagement is the focus. That's a huge lesson to me. After hearing these in isolation, that's a revelation. Interesting. All right, let's listen to these background vocals here. We heard them in the bleed.
Speed demon. Speed demon. Speed demon. Speed demon.
You can hear the exits as slightly different on each one, which is kind of fun. Other things you really don't hear in full mixes, especially in background vocals. Okay.
Yeah. Pull over, boy, and get your ticket right. And nothing gonna stop me. Ain't no stop and go.
One of my favorite climbs that Michael Jackson has ever done, right here.
And nothing gonna stop me. Ain't no stop and go.
You hear how the mic saturates as his voice saturates? It's just, oh, love that for years. And to hear it in isolation like this, with what, like, I thought I was hearing, I am here.
And nothing gonna stop me. Ain't no stop and go.
Go! Go! That, like, that note. That note was one of those notes that, in the context of the other things I was listening to at the time, made me want to work on distorted vocals. The way he approaches that note.
And nothing gonna stop me. Ain't no stop and go. I'm speeding on the middle way. I gotta really burn this road. You just
love how he sets up the background vocals there.
gotta really burn this road. You just speeding on the freeway. Gotta get Liepe. Doing it on the highway. Gotta have it my way. Mine is like a compass. I'm stopping at nothing. Just pull over, boy, and get your ticket right.
Listen to the percussive nature of the I. That onset there is.
Mine is like a compass. I'm stopping at nothing.
I'm stopping at nothing. Really hard to make a hard onset as equally percussive as a consonant, and he's doing it great.
Mine is like a compass. I'm stopping at nothing. Just pull over, boy, and get your ticket right.
Okay, here we go.
Speed demon, you're the very same one who said the future's in you, and the life you say could be your own. You preaching about my life like you're the law. Gonna lavish then. I'll be like, for me there's no tomorrow.
Ah! We got to listen to it a bunch more times because there's so many notes that take on a different character than the overall character and add then to the overall character.
Speed demon, you're the very same one who said the future's in you, and the life you say could be your own. You preaching about my life like you're the law. Gonna lavish then. I'll be like, for me there's no tomorrow.
Okay, let's piece it out a little bit. Now that we've enjoyed the full thing.
Speed demon, you're the
Okay, do you notice speed? Speed is head voice. Now, he's not thinking about what he wants to do in terms of head voice, mixed voice, chest voice. He's just in it. But his muscle memory, his training, his practice has led him to be able to be this versatile with his voice. But listen here to the first couple notes. Speed is head voice.
speed demon, you're
For time, speed demon. I'm going to exaggerate it to make a point. Speed demon. Then he's mixing on demon, bringing in that chest level support in a similar range.
speed demon, you're the very
And then your light head voice, falsetto-y, right?
you're the very same one who said
And then does the same thing on very strong head voice. And then same is mix.
Very same one does.
Very, very same one. And then backs off on one.
One do said the future's in you, and the life you say could be your own.
Going back and forth between this subtle mix, strong head voice, weaker head voice. It's interesting where he takes the breath right there.
One do said the future's in you, and the life you say.
You've heard him do that on other songs. It's like, well, I'm in the middle of a phrase. I got to take a breath to keep going. He doesn't miss a beat. Literally doesn't miss a beat. But it's an interesting place for a breath. Not many people, other than Michael Jackson, can get away with that kind of thing.
One do said the future's in you, and the life you say could be your own.
Hear how he grows into the mix a bit there?
And the life you say could.
It's like this. He starts in head, and then over the course of the phrase, he transitions into a subtle mix.
And the life you say could be.
And the reason I'm doing it without the consonants and without the words is because it's a great thing to practice. I'm opening up. This section of this Michael Jackson song could be an hour voice lesson in and of itself. There's so many things going on in terms of studying.
And the life you say could be your own.
Backing off into the head voice again.
Own. You preaching.
Now here's where he really does some interesting growth and weight changes and resonant changes in and out of mixed voice.
You preaching about my life like you're the law.
Okay, you hear that extra sheen, the extra bright? It's like you're the law. Again, I'm exaggerating to make a point.
You're the law.
You're the law. You're the law. And then
you preaching about my life.
Right, bound is heavier and mixed, and this is you preaching bound. You preaching bound.
You're the law, gonna lavish then. I'll be like, for me there's no tomorrow.
Tomorrow! That was the moment for me, like, what is that voice? Because he's transitioning from this whimpery sound, whimpery head voice sound, into this tomorrow! He's singing it a lot faster, but he's got not only the rhythm down, the way he grows into that. Okay, let's also talk about this cool gritty sound.
You're the law, gonna lavish then. I'll be like,
There's a sense that he's pushing himself past his limits, but he's not.
I'll be like,
because there's still a pitch there.
I'll be like, for me there's no tomorrow.
Such variety. Again.
Gonna lavish then. I'll be like, for me there's no tomorrow.
One more time.
Gonna lavish then. I'll be like, for me there's no tomorrow.
He is, but he isn't at the top of his range. He's the pain and soul that and the like stress that he's communicating here is so amazing, and that's a lot of what this is driven by. But he is technically capable of doing this without all of that. That's what makes this so interesting. Is the pain, tension. Although I'm using that word in a different way here, and like is there helping us connect with what he's doing because it sounds difficult, and the variety is part of what makes it sound difficult. But it's likely not difficult. It's part of the performance aspect. And there's so many different colors with that grit where he's pushing himself beyond his limit just for a second, but he knows where those limits are and where to push, and it's manifesting as cool, healthy grit too. So many cool things. Okay, let's listen to this section one more time all the way through now that I have nitpicked it. And you can just appreciate all these tiny nuances and differences in what he's doing here. So much more complex than you'd ever think. Let's also put the background vocals in for fun. Those background vocals are another reason you don't hear as much variety out of Michael's voice in that first, Michael's lead voice, in that first section, but oh, what they provide an amazing contrast and complement. Wow.
Go! Go! Go!
And that grit, right? Go! That's a compressed, he's got a higher voice by far than me, but it's this idea of like, go! No. Go! 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 As you're dialing stuff like this in, be okay with letting your voice crack a little bit. Most people, when they're trying to dial in some sort of distorted thing with their voice cracks and then they go, oh, oops, I cracked. And then they don't have the ability to deliver themselves over to the intensity that they need to support and compress correctly. And they can't ever do it. But you have to be able to abandon into this. It is about holding back air in a very specific way. I've done a lot of videos on that, and I also talk about that in my course.
Go! Go!
Go! Go! Go!
Go! Ow!
Oh, yeah, classic.
You just speeding on the freeway, gotta get Liepe. Got fire in my pocket, I just lit a rocket. I just pull off a bar and get your ticket right. Pull off a bar and get your ticket right. I just
Love the soul of that line.
pull off a bar and get your ticket right.
With that consistent sort of rasp, ticket, happening over his voice.
Pull off a bar and get your ticket right. I just pull off a bar and eat your ticket. Pull off a bar. Pull off a bar and get your ticket right.
I like the voice he's putting on that T. Tuh, tuh, tuh. It's not just tuh, tuh, tuh. His voice is engaged in that percussiveness.
Pull off a bar and get your ticket right.
Away from the mic, that's cool. Freedom, freedom.
Get your ticket right.
Da, da.
Pull off a boy. Get your ticket right. Pull off a boy and get your ticket right. Pull off a boy. Pull off a boy and get your ticket. Eat your ticket. Get your ticket. Eat your. Get your.
Okay, let's listen to this. This is another one of those lines. Listen to how he moves his resonance around. It's like, oh! That's a crass exaggeration, but musically, if we're thinking that and then listening to this, it's the fact that his dynamic resonance is there that we like these lines so much. Listen again.
Pull off a boy.
It's not just oi. It's not also just oi. That ability to be dynamic with how you place your voice, that's how the soulfulness is actualized.
Pull off a boy and get your ticket right. Pull off a boy, and get your ticket. Eat your ticket, get your ticket, eat your, get your.
Yeah. Inhale there.
Get your ticket right.
We heard that little sniff at the very end. That's so fun. And before I forget, we've got to enjoy these breath tracks a little bit. clearly looped and manipulated sonically, but based off of MJ's breaths, and it just takes what he does so naturally, and it's another one of those things that's fun to hear in isolation in a way that you can't appreciate them if they're in the main mix, buried with all the other percussive elements. Thank you for sticking around to the end and enjoying one of my favorite Michael Jackson vocal performances. Again, if you'd like more help with your own voice and really unlocking what it can do, not everybody can do everything that Michael Jackson can do, obviously, but there's a lot more potential that your voice has, that if you learn to be free and non-judgmental with it, you can unlock. Click the link below and join my free course if you want to join me. Also, be sure, again, to check out the Michael Jackson playlist that I've done, all the deep dives. We'll see you for more.